What if I told you there's a creature that can travel thousands of miles without a map, breathe through its skin, survive on land, and even generate electricity, yet most people don't know how it's born, where it mates, or how it dies? Sounds like science fiction, right? But this isn't a creature from a movie. It's real. It's ancient. And it might be living in the rivers, lakes, or oceans near you right now. These are the eels, nature's slippery, silent enigmas, and today, we're diving deep into the 20 most incredible facts you've never heard about them. From myth to mystery, survival to science, by the end of this video, you'll never look at eels the same way again. Fact number 1: Eels are born in the middle of the ocean, but no one has ever seen it happen. European and American eels make one of the most mysterious migrations in the animal kingdom. They leave freshwater rivers and lakes and swim thousands of miles to the Sargasso Sea, a remote region of the Atlantic Ocean, to spawn. What's baffling is that, despite decades of study, no one has ever witnessed an eel giving birth in the wild. Scientists know it happens there due to the presence of tiny eel larvae, called leptocephali, found only in that region. But the actual act of reproduction remains completely unseen. This has given rise to countless theories and speculations about how, when, and even why they do it in such secrecy. Some researchers believe the deep, warm waters and unique chemical composition of the Sargasso Sea play a role in triggering their spawning behavior. Others think eels die immediately after reproduction, their job complete, their journey ended. The fact that such a fundamental process remains undocumented shows how much we still have to learn, not just about eels, but about the ocean's ability to hide its deepest secrets in plain sight. Fact number 2: Eels can travel over land. It might sound like something out of a horror film, but it's absolutely true. Freshwater eels, especially species like the American eel and the European eel, are capable of traveling over moist ground. Thanks to their ability to breathe through their skin when it's wet, they can leave their aquatic homes and slither across land to reach new water sources. This usually happens during rainy nights, when the soil is damp and cool enough to prevent them from drying out. This land-traveling ability is especially useful in times of drought or when ponds and streams become disconnected. By wriggling overland, eels can colonize new habitats, ensuring their survival even when water becomes scarce. It also makes them incredibly adaptable predators, capable of invading isolated pools where no one would expect to find them. So, next time it rains and you step outside, just remember, that wet leaf in the driveway might not be a leaf at all, it could be an eel on the move. Fact number 3: Some eels can produce electricity. Electric eels are probably the most famous of all eels, but fun fact, they're not technically eels at all. They belong to a group of fish called knifefish, native to the Amazon and Orinoco River basins. But classification aside, these creatures are jaw-dropping. They can generate electric shocks of up to 860 volts using specialized cells called electrocytes. That's more than enough voltage to stun large prey, deter predators, or even knock out an adult human temporarily. What's even more fascinating is how they use electricity like sonar. Electric eels emit small electric pulses as a way to sense their environment, detect obstacles, and locate prey in murky, dark water. When hunting, they ramp up the voltage to immobilize victims. Some researchers have also observed electric eels leaping out of the water to shock threats directly, a dramatic defense mechanism that makes them one of the most weaponized fish in the world. So, while they might not wear a cape, they're definitely aquatic superheroes, or maybe villains. Fact number 4: Eels go through a dramatic body transformation before breeding. Before they embark on their legendary migration back to the Sargasso Sea, freshwater eels undergo one of the most extreme makeovers in the animal kingdom. Their bodies change from the inside out. Their eyes enlarge and become more sensitive to the darkness of the deep sea. Their bodies darken on top and lighten on the bottom for camouflage during the long journey. Most striking of all, their digestive systems shut down completely, because once they leave, they'll never eat again. This transformation is known as the silver eel phase, and it represents the final stage of an eel's life. They shift from being growth-focused, opportunistic feeders to single-minded travelers. The entire physiology of the eel is reprogrammed for one purpose: reproduction. They spend their last reserves of energy on the journey and the act of spawning. Once that's done, they die. It's a tragic but beautiful story of sacrifice, where survival of the species is more important than survival of the self. Fact number 5: Eels have been around since the time of dinosaurs. Eels aren't just modern-day marvels, they're ancient survivors. Fossil records show that eel-like ancestors existed over 100 million years ago, during the time of the dinosaurs. Their elongated bodies, slippery skin, and secretive behavior have helped them evade predators and endure massive environmental changes, including extinction events that wiped out entire lineages of animals. Over time, they've evolved into over 800 different species, ranging from the moray eel to the garden eel and beyond. Their adaptability, combined with their hidden lifestyles, makes them one of nature's most enduring blueprints. In a way, eels are living fossils, creatures that have refused to vanish despite the odds. It's incredible to think that something swimming silently through a river today might be carrying genetic secrets from a world that no longer exists. Fact number 6: Eels can live for decades. While most fish live for just a few years, some eels are truly in it for the long haul. European eels, for instance, can live for more than 80 years in captivity. In the wild, they typically live between 15 to 30 years, but there are well-documented cases of individuals surviving for over 80 years in domestic environments, including one famously kept in a Swedish well since the 1800s. These astonishing lifespans make them one of the most long-lived fish in freshwater environments. What makes this even more fascinating is how little we know about their full life cycle in the wild. Eels spend years, sometimes decades, in rivers, feeding and growing before making their one-way journey to spawn and die in the ocean. This long pre-reproductive period is still not fully understood, but it gives scientists a unique look at a fish that's playing the long game in evolutionary terms. They're patient, secretive, and in no rush, until the moment nature calls them to complete their mysterious journey. Fact number 7: Eels have a secret weapon: slime. Eels don't have scales like most fish. Instead, they have a thick, mucus-covered skin that protects them from parasites and injury. This slimy coating isn't just gross, it's also incredibly effective. It helps them wriggle through tight spaces and even escape from predators. If an eel gets grabbed, its slippery body often slides right out of a predator's mouth. It's nature's version of a built-in escape artist. But the slime has more uses than just defense. It also contains antimicrobial properties, helping the eel avoid infections in dirty or bacteria-rich environments. Some researchers even believe the slime may reduce drag in water, making eels more efficient swimmers. In essence, what seems like an icky coating is actually a high-performance bio-armor, part defense mechanism, part health shield, and part hydrodynamic upgrade. Nature is never wasteful, and in the case of eels, even mucus has a mission. Fact number 8: moray eels have two sets of jaws, like something out of science fiction. If you're a fan of the movie Alien, you're going to love this one, or maybe have nightmares about it. Moray eels, those fearsome reef dwellers with needle-like teeth, have an extra set of jaws hidden inside their throat called pharyngeal jaws. When they bite down on prey, these second jaws shoot forward to grab and pull the prey deeper into their throat. It's a feeding method unlike anything else in the ocean. What makes this even more incredible is how rare this feature is. Most fish use suction to pull in prey, but moray eels are ambush predators that hunt in crevices where suction doesn't work well. So evolution gave them this mechanical marvel to ensure they don't lose their meals. It's fast, deadly, and terrifyingly efficient. Watching it in slow motion is like seeing a sci-fi monster in real life, but for the moray eel, it's just lunch. Fact number 9: eels don't have pelvic fins or pectoral fins. One of the reasons eels move so fluidly is that their bodies are incredibly streamlined. Unlike many other fish, they don't have pelvic fins, and in some species, like true eels, even pectoral fins are either small or missing. This gives their entire body a ribbon-like quality, which helps them glide effortlessly through narrow spaces and rocky crevices in rivers, reefs, and ocean floors. Their method of swimming is called anguilliform locomotion, named after the eel family Anguillidae. It's a full-body wave that moves from head to tail, pushing them forward with remarkable grace and precision. This movement is incredibly energy-efficient and perfect for their hunting style, which often involves sudden lunges or stealthy wriggling through tight spots. In the underwater world, being flexible means being deadly, and eels are masters of both. Fact number 10: eels can breathe through their skin. This might sound unbelievable, but it's true. Some species of eels, especially freshwater ones, can absorb oxygen through their skin, particularly when they're in low-oxygen environments or during short excursions on land. Their skin must remain moist for this to work, which is why you'll only see them doing this in damp conditions or at night when humidity is high. This adaptation allows them to survive in places where other fish would quickly suffocate. Shallow, stagnant waters, swampy environments, or even mudflats during low tide, these are all places eels can exploit thanks to this bonus breathing system. It's like carrying around a backup set of lungs. In a world where conditions can change rapidly, especially in freshwater habitats, that kind of flexibility can mean the difference between life and death. Fact number 11: eels use magnetic fields to navigate across oceans. How do eels find their way back to the Sargasso Sea from thousands of miles away? It turns out they might be using the Earth's magnetic field as a kind of internal GPS. Researchers have discovered that eels are sensitive to geomagnetic cues, allowing them to orient themselves and migrate vast distances with astonishing accuracy. This is especially critical during their spawning migration, when they must travel across featureless ocean expanses with no visual landmarks to guide them. What's even more impressive is that this navigation skill begins early in life. Even tiny eel larvae seem to drift with purpose, guided by magnetic signals embedded in their genetic code. Scientists have tested eels in tanks with artificial magnetic fields and observed changes in their direction of movement, proving that they can detect and respond to these subtle forces. It's an incredible biological compass built right into their bodies, one that guides them across oceans in a journey that may take months and spans thousands of miles. Fact number 12, some eels are entirely blind and live in total darkness. Not all eels swim in sunlit reefs or freshwater rivers. Some species dwell in the deep sea or inside caves, where light never reaches. These eels have evolved to survive in absolute darkness, and some are completely blind as a result. In these pitch-black environments, sight is useless, so these eels rely on other senses, like detecting water vibrations or chemical cues, to find prey and navigate their surroundings. Their bodies often become elongated, pale, and nearly translucent due to the lack of pigmentation. Over generations, their eyes shrink or disappear entirely. It's a remarkable example of evolutionary adaptation. Rather than wasting energy maintaining a sense that no longer serves them, these eels have enhanced other abilities to thrive where few creatures dare to go. In the absence of light, they've become ghosts of the deep, silent hunters shaped by the dark. Fact number 13, eels are important in Japanese culture and cuisine. In Japan, eel, or anegi, is more than just food. It's a cultural symbol of strength, endurance, and tradition. For centuries, eel has been considered a delicacy, especially consumed during the hottest days of summer in a dish called unadon or anaju. The idea is that eating this energy-rich food will restore stamina and vitality during the year's most exhausting period. Anegi is also steeped in ritual and culinary skill. Preparing it is considered an art form, with chefs undergoing years of training to master the delicate techniques required. However, this cultural love for eel has led to increased demand, putting pressure on wild populations, especially the Japanese eel, which is now considered endangered. It's a stark reminder of how cultural practices and conservation must be balanced if we are to preserve both tradition and biodiversity. Fact number 14, baby eels are called glass eels. When eel larvae drift from the Sargasso Sea toward the coasts of Europe or North America, they undergo a fascinating transformation. These tiny creatures, originally shaped like willow leaves, metamorphose into see-through, worm-like juveniles known as glass eels. Their name comes from their transparent appearance, which helps them avoid predators during this vulnerable stage of life. Glass eels are a crucial part of the eel life cycle and a key focus for conservation. Because they're small and relatively easy to catch, they've become targets in illegal wildlife trade and overfishing. In some places, glass eels can sell for thousands of dollars per kilogram. Their delicate, ghost-like bodies may seem insignificant, but they represent the future of an ancient species, one that begins life as nearly invisible travelers carried by ocean currents for thousands of miles. Fact number 15, eels communicate through electric signals and body language. While they don't talk like mammals, some eels, especially electric species, use subtle electrical pulses to send signals to each other. These pulses can convey aggression, submission, or even courtship intentions. It's a silent language that works perfectly in the murky, low-visibility waters they inhabit. Each pulse has a distinct rhythm and strength, allowing eels to understand their surroundings and one another. In addition to electric pulses, eels also use body language, such as coiling, posturing, or sudden jerks, to show dominance or warn off intruders. This combination of electrocommunication and physical behavior makes them surprisingly expressive for creatures often thought of as primitive. In the hidden world beneath the waves, where sound doesn't travel well and visibility is low, communication is a matter of life and death, and eels have mastered it in their own shocking way. Fact number 16, eels can survive out of water for several hours. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but yes, certain species of eels can leave the water and wriggle across land. Thanks to their ability to absorb oxygen through their skin, particularly in moist conditions, many eels can survive without being submerged for several hours. This adaptation allows them to move between ponds, streams, or even escape drying out habitats in search of more suitable environments. Their ability to slither across wet grass, mud, or even pavement has earned them a reputation for being escape artists, especially in aquariums. In fact, eel keepers often need to secure tank lids with weights to prevent their aquatic residents from making a surprise dash across the room. In the wild, this land-traveling behavior gives them an edge over other fish, expanding their range and survival options far beyond the limits of a single body of water. Fact number 17: eels are bioindicators of environmental health. Because they are sensitive to pollution, parasites, and changes in water quality, eels are considered excellent bioindicators. Their health, or lack thereof, can signal larger problems in aquatic ecosystems. A decline in eel populations is often one of the first signs of environmental degradation in rivers and estuaries, making them critical to monitoring ecosystem health. Additionally, eels accumulate toxins in their fatty tissues over time. By studying those toxin levels, scientists can track long-term pollution trends in lakes and rivers. Their migratory behavior also means they interact with many different habitats, offering a broader environmental snapshot than stationary species. In essence, eels are nature's canary in the coal mine. If they're struggling, it's likely the rest of the ecosystem is too. Fact number 18: eels have inspired ancient myths and legends. Throughout history, eels have mystified and fascinated humans. In Maori mythology, for example, the god of freshwater, tuna, was an eel. In Japanese folklore, eels were once believed to ward off evil spirits. Their mysterious life cycles and sudden disappearances from rivers have contributed to a sense of the supernatural surrounding them, especially in cultures deeply connected to the water. In Europe during the Middle Ages, eels were associated with the unknown and often feared for their snake-like appearance. Fishermen once believed eels spontaneously generated from mud because no one ever saw them breed. This myth persisted for centuries due to the scientific mystery surrounding their reproduction. Even today, their surreal life story, vanishing into the ocean for a final journey no one has fully witnessed, gives them an almost mythical status among aquatic creatures. Fact number 19: the electric eel is not a true eel. Despite its name, the electric eel isn't technically an eel at all. It belongs to a group of knifefish and is more closely related to catfish than to true eels of the order Anguilliformes. Native to South America, this fish earned its name because it can generate powerful electric shocks, up to 600 volts, to stun prey or defend itself. That's enough electricity to knock a human off their feet or even cause a temporary blackout in small animals. Electric eels have special organs made up of thousands of electrocytes that can release energy in bursts. These discharges can be controlled with astonishing precision, used for hunting, navigating murky waters, or communicating with other electric eels. While it might not be a true eel, it certainly earns its spot on any list of amazing eel-related facts due to its jaw-dropping abilities and the sheer power hidden inside its sleek body. Fact number 20: eels are facing a silent extinction. Despite their incredible adaptability and mysterious life cycle, eel populations around the world are declining at alarming rates. Overfishing, habitat destruction, climate change, and barriers like dams have all contributed to a steep drop in numbers, especially for species like the European and Japanese eel. Their long migrations are being disrupted, their spawning grounds are harder to reach, and their early life stages are increasingly vulnerable. Conservationists are working hard to protect them, but the challenges are immense. Because eels live such long lives and have complex life cycles, recovery takes decades. And the mystery of their reproduction, still largely unsolved, makes breeding them in captivity extremely difficult. Unless swift action is taken to restore their habitats and reduce exploitation, these ancient travelers may quietly vanish from our rivers, leaving only myths, memories, and a mystery that science never got to solve in time. Eels are more than just slippery fish, they're survivors, shapeshifters, and explorers of the deep. They've fascinated ancient cultures, baffled scientists, and inspired legends for thousands of years. Yet today, many eel species are in danger of disappearing forever. Their story isn't just about what they are, it's about what we could lose. These creatures remind us how much we still don't know about the natural world, and how urgently we need to protect it. So next time you see a murky stream or a dark corner of the ocean, remember, a mysterious traveler may be passing through, and its journey began long before we were watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you want more deep dives into the wildest creatures on Earth. And let us know in the comments, which of these eel facts shocked you the most.